We begin with this Fox News alert. Well, they are trying to use lawfare against President Trump again, this time over the immigration agenda. An Obama-appointed judge has blocked the Trump administration from revoking the legal status of more than 500,000 people from different countries who were brought over here in that controversial Biden program where he could come in. It was just the stroke of a pen. So that's where we sit now, waiting for all of this to shake out with this lawfare. It was supposed to be temporary. And after widespread fraud was found, authorities arrested several program recipients for violent crimes, including child. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus.
Great to have you with us. Please like, subscribe, and share. Here at the Chris Highland Show. Really appreciate you rolling up today. Thank you so much. Let me know you're here in the comments. We've got a phenomenal show for you as the Democrats go all in for criminal illegal aliens. The Democrats go all in for everybody who's committed violent crime, regardless of what they've done. They want them here in this country. They are willing to shill for them to every extent necessary, possible, even beyond the realm of prudent, in order to keep them in the country ahead of U.S. citizens, to give them jobs ahead of U.S. citizens, to give them benefits ahead of U.S. citizens, to put them in front of their criminal victims in this country. They don't care about the Rachel Morens or the Laken Rileys or the Jocelyn Nungareys. They don't care about the hundreds and thousands of American women and girls that have been violently attacked. They don't care about the fentanyl that has flowed across the border, the deaths that occurred. They don't care about the 500,000 children that were trafficked by the Biden administration and are now gone somewhere, either in the country or out of the country, just disappeared. This is who these people are. And today we are going to be exposing some of this. It is absolutely amazing. We're going to start with a blast from the past from the enemy of the American people, Hillary Clinton. But then we are going to get into what exactly is going on with this lawfare. As they said, as Harris Faulkner said, a judge has blocked Trump's latest executive order, which basically eliminated all legal status for the 300 plus thousand CHNV recipients, people that were flown in by the Biden administration, basically every one of them a criminal illegal alien or an illegal mental patient. We know that because we know how the program works. But let's dive into Hillary Clinton, then we'll dive into the rest. Here we go.
I think we got to have tough conditions, tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked, they're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
See, that is no longer the case with the Democrat Party. Now, they don't care about any of that. They don't want them to pay a fine. They don't care about deporting them, whether they're illegal and commit a crime, whether they're illegal and commit 27 crimes. They don't care. They want them to stay. They're their brand new voting bloc. The Democrats realize they have lost the union vote. They have lost for all intents and purposes, the Hispanic vote. They are losing the black vote to levels they never thought they would see. And so they are trying to transplant all of that with a brand new voting bloc that they control. A voting bloc that is not U.S. citizens, but still gets the right to vote. A voting bloc that can be manipulated, can be controlled, whose ability to be in this country could at any point in time be revoked by them, the Democrats, so that they can control what they do. Now, we're going to dive into the rest of the story with Harris Faulkner, but this is what they're shilling for. It's absolutely unconscionable. Here we go.
Bernie Moreno of the great state of Ohio, member of the Homeland Security and Commerce Committees, is with me now. Your reaction to this latest law move against President Trump?
Would you ever imagine that we're sitting here debating whether we should deport criminal gang member aliens from this country? I mean, the Democrat Party's at a 21% approval rating. They could get to zero pretty soon if they continue on this path. Look, I'm a legal immigrant to this country. I came here legally with my family. It's disgusting to watch this country reward people who skip the line, let alone criminals, people who are gang members, affiliated to terrorist organizations. And we have the radical leftists wanting to bring them more into the United States. It's insane. And look, Americans voted on November 5th for a secure border, and that's what they've gotten.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about. I mean, I think Americans are pretty clear-eyed on what it means to share spaces for resources and money and all the rest. When people are in the country flowing across an unaided border, they weren't vetting. National security was in jeopardy the entire time Biden was in office.
Yeah, the more outrageous thing is that we sent private jets to Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Haiti and picked up criminal aliens, brought them into the United States, used FEMA resources to resettle them, and put them in luxury hotels here in New York City.
That part I know. So how to explain how the program was supposed to work, if you even know, because it was rather surreptitious at first.
Oh, well, it was called the CHFV program, right? It was this idea that we're going to go rescue these asylum seekers, when in reality, the leaders of these countries said, oh my God, wait, America's sending planes to our country. We're going to empty our jails, put them in these planes, and get rid of the criminals. And that's what they did.
Oh, that's
exactly what they did. And realize what CHNV stands for. Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela. The Biden administration sent airplanes, U.S. aircraft, down to these countries, loaded them up with every criminal or delinquent that country wanted to get rid of, put them on airplanes, flew them back into the United States, gave them temporary legal status, gave them money, gave them handouts, gave them cell phones, put them up in hotels. Did they do that for American citizens? Did they do that for American veterans who put their lives on the line for this country? Absolutely not. But that's who the Democrats are shilling for now. They and their lawfare judges are 100% in on the fix to keep these criminals in America at any cost.
so their governments get to decide who's on the planes?
Of course, because
wow.
if you're Maduro, you think about it, American plane lands in Caracas, you're going to put your worst of your worst citizens, clean them up a little bit, maybe shave them, cover a few tattoos, put them on his plane, give them fake documents, and they get flown into America.
Senator, that is rich detail we need to know.
And that's who this judge has determined via fiat that the American president, the chief executive, the sole executive of Article 2, cannot revoke their legal status. They were given legal status by the stroke of a pen by Biden. Donald Trump, now, according to a judge, cannot revoke that legal status. Now, we all know this is garbage. This is a garbage case. It's a garbage decision. This will be overthrown either at the appellate level or at the Supreme Court, because the Constitution and the law are absolutely clear. The president has unfettered authority to determine who is allowed to come in to the country, who's allowed to be here under visa or guest or otherwise immigration programs. He has the sole authority. So they cannot stop this from happening, I don't believe. I believe in a matter of a couple of months, this will be overturned, if not faster, and all 300,000 to 500,000 of these people, their legal status will be revoked. Hopefully they will be rounded up immediately and deported back to their countries of origin. But Gutfeld, I believe, had this right. He went on a rant that you have got to see. We've got to check out Gutfeld, because I think Gutfeld, as much as he is a comedian, many times he gets stuff absolutely right. Here we go.
Roberts, shut the F up. This is something that a president has to do. He has to do this. It blows my mind how wrong I was in 2016 or 2015 when Trump came down the escalator. And I was like, I can't believe he said these things. Everything he said was right. They're sending bad people. What did he say? They're sending killers and rapists. Do you remember this? Some of them were good people. Some of them were good people. He said this, and now he's sending them back. He's sending them back. You know, political disagreement among parties is normal, but the Dems complain about things that Trump might do. They look at this. What might he do next? Oh, what could he do? He could do this somewhere else. But when you look at the Dems, you see what they've actually done. Not what they might do, but what they've done. For example, you know, they're trying to prevent rapists and murderers from being deported. They allow perverts into female safe spaces. They allow surgical experimentation on kids. They defend those who materially support Hamas. They defend no cash bail, that expanded recidivist criminality. I could go on. My point being, we don't have to make up the crap that they do. Right. The only way they can survive is by hypothetically imagining what Trump will do next, because he's right in the present moment. He's doing the right thing right now.
Absolutely. The American people stand with Trump. Remember, this is the number one issue that they elected him on. Depending on your polls, immigration was number one, inflation/economy was number two, or vice versa. But in at least half the polls, the number one issue was the open southern border. It was the immigration crisis. It was everything that's going on. Trump is standing with the 80% of America. And I love this. I love the fact that the Dems are committing harikari because they are standing with the 20%. They are standing with the small minority of people who actually want these criminal illegals in the country. And I would even say that this is more of a 90-10 issue, especially when you're talking criminal illegal aliens. Nobody wants them here. And so this is absolutely amazing that the Democrats want to die on this hill. But that's exactly what they're doing. Check this out again from Harris Faulkner and Fox. This time, she had one of the Republican congressmen on.
That because you are not a united.
No, it's interesting because that very issue of they're not citizens, how are they gaining such access and protection through our justice system? And protests now going to violence and all of that. I mean, we've ceded ground to a lot of people. And I'm not conflating the illegals to those who are, blowing up dealerships of Teslas. But right now, it just seems like the regular Americans are stepping back because there's no place for us to stand anymore.
Well, absolutely. Get this. Democrats, let's not forget, Democrats wanted to phase every American taxpayer to pay for lawyers for all the illegals. This was in their so-called border bills that they kept introducing last year. I mean, seriously, we would be paying for lawyers for every single illegal. So not only could we not kick them out of the country, now we got to pay for their lawyers as well. This is crazy. Let's be clear. The Constitution does not afford the protections of citizenship to people who are here illegally. So no apologies. If you're here illegally and you're committing acts of violence, terrorism, whatever, you ought to be gone. And no, you don't get to have a day in court in front of a jury. No, you're not entitled to that because.
Exactly. Once it is determined that you are an illegal alien, you do not have legal standing to stand in court against a deportation hearing. Now, if the government wanted to incarcerate you in America, then you could argue, I'm here illegally, deport me. You could do that. Otherwise, you would get constitutional protections in terms of, I want a lawyer to not be incarcerated here in the United States. But in terms of deportation, once it's determined that you are an illegal alien, you have no legal standing to be here. But this is what the Democrats want. They are standing with the 10%, demanding, breaking their necks to demand that these criminal illegals stay no matter what, regardless of what they do, how many crimes they commit. But check this out, because once again, the Dems are showing us exactly who they are.
If Democrats really want to die on the hill of bringing back plane loads of criminal, illegal alien gang members...
But you haven't proven that they're criminals.
Please,
That's the problem.
Be my
honestly,
guest.
Look, I will be the first one to say if there's a criminal, if there's a gang member in this country, someone who has committed any crime, big or small, get him out. Sure, I'll absolutely concede that. We don't need criminals in this country. But if you're talking about somebody who you don't know because you haven't afforded them due process, then you can't just make that claim.
But the fact remains, President Trump is not only securing our border, but he is deporting criminal, illegal aliens. And if Democrats want to stand in the way of that and they want to tell their constituents, hey, vote for us in the midterm, vote for us in 2028, we'll make sure that the criminal aliens come back. Far be it for me to stand in your way. Continue that message. Best of luck with it.
All right.
And if Republicans want to run on, hey, we can disappear you with no due process, far be it for me to stand in your way. If Republicans want to turn the United States into Russia, where we disappear political opponents with zero due process, sending them to foreign gulags somewhere, if that's really what you're running on behind the banner of the Party of Law and Order, be my guest.
Democrats.
Again, once it's determined that they are here illegally, they can be deported at any time. That's all that has to happen. And you don't need a court case to determine that you're here illegally. Now, everybody is given the writ of habeas corpus. Everybody who requests it is given a habeas corpus hearing, which basically says, I am here, I have legal standing or whatnot. That is essentially a one-day hearing and they determine, do you have legal status? If you do, okay, we have a different argument. But if you do not, if you are here illegally, bye. You are out. You have no recourse. You don't get a day in court if you are here illegally and you are being deported. That's it. I can't believe that the Democrats are actually standing on this issue. You heard the clip from Hillary Clinton 30 years ago, where they were all about getting rid of illegal aliens. Now, whether that was actually true or not, or they were just giving platitudes, is a different story. But regardless, where they are now is 100% in for every single illegal criminal to be here forever and to have more rights than American citizens. It's absolutely ridiculous. Please smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notifications, let everybody you know. We are now here at the Chris Highland Show on YouTube. Please, if you know anybody who's subscribed to Courageous Media, we have sent out messages. Please get them over here. Like, subscribe, share Chris Highland Show. Really appreciate you being here.